about home. They're married to real estate.
So welcome, everybody. It is a wonderful day in February, and here we are in Westford, Massachusetts, and it has snowed, and it's going to snow again, and we are loving it, aren't we?
I love the winter. I don't mind it.
Good.
I don't.
Well, today, Mary and I have a great guest, Mr. Robert Boley, a friend of ours for several years, actually, a leader in the commercial real estate lending business, and also a really wonderful servant to others. And it is a pleasure today to talk to you about commercial real estate in the area, but also what we get, what we do for others, and what does it do for us and make the world better. But Mary and I start out by having a conversation about what is happening in our world.
We can talk about that, yeah.
So, Mary, what's new in your world?
No, so I've been busy. I have a listing in Haverhill that's been, kind of a tough one, but we temporarily withdrew it. They're out of state for a little bit, so just their family situation, they're not ready to move when the 45 days kind of would naturally cycle out. So we're taking a little break, which is good because it's been weird. Mm-hmm. It's been tough. Mm-hmm. We had plenty of offers. We had 2 offers every week for the past 3 weeks, and I couldn't get any of them to stick. So it's I don't know what is going on out there. So we decided we'll take a little step back, and then I have a former client, and I'm taking her out later today to look at a couple of properties. And
great.
Yeah, so it's good.
Excellent. Well, terrific. And may there be a whole lot more.
Yes, please.
May there be a whole lot more. We'll get a chance to talk about, some of the factors in real estate, residential real estate and commercial real estate with our guest. And I've been really busy, very, very busy, kind of doing a bunch of things, primarily for Rotary, not only in my club.
Is that how you know Robert? Because
yes,
you said we know him for years,
years,
but I don't know him. This was the first time I met him, and I was going to let that go, but I was like, if I ask stupid questions, people need to know that I just met him today.
We need to start one. I'm really catching it today.
It feels like years.
Yes, exactly. I know. It's only been minutes, but it feels like years. That's hilarious.
I met Robert at Rotary, and we had just a... I succeeded you as president. You were the president before me,
yes.
Right? And Robert had to pick up Rotary just as COVID was ending. So as many service organizations, they really struggled post-COVID. And he just got us going one step after the other.
I think I may have talked to him on the phone when I won the golf ball thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because now all of a sudden it's all connecting that your name sounds familiar, your voice sounds a little familiar. I was like, wait a minute, do I know him?
We got to get her to
ball
do
drops, winners, they called them. And,
And guess what? She's going to have to play cornhole really soon.
I don't even know how to play that.
Oh, you got
I've avoided playing that.
So let me introduce our guest.
Yes, please do, Mary.
Okay, good. So Robert is the senior vice president of business lending at John Dark Credit Union. And for those of you outside the New England area, we have a strong influence of French. Joan of Arc, Jeanne d'Arc Credit Union, a very active and engaged credit union in this area around north of Boston, maybe other areas too that you'll tell us about. And Robert actually started as a Walmart assistant manager. I have to talk to you about that. I'm sure you got us into Walmart because of that. But he's been in the community banking business for a number of years. And I've had the pleasure of knowing Robert from Westford Rotary, which is a lot of fun.
And Joan d'Arc, they do a lot for the communities.
They do.
And so this makes sense.
It does. And the other thing that I want you to know about Robert is that every time I speak to you, every time you raise a name or a contact or a client, you are the most connected and humble person I know out there right now. And I'm going to keep you on my Rolodex. I'm going to tell you that's an old expression for
I'm
old
adding
people.
you, Robert.
So, Robert, we're here today to talk about commercial lending, which we know nothing about.
Yes.
And service to others. So, Mary, take it away.
Well, so how did you get started in commercial lending? It's not, everyday mainstreamy kind of a thing.
Yep.
There's plenty of residential lenders that, we come across in our residential real estate business, but I don't do much commercial, don't really know. It's kind of this whole different animal. So how did you get started?
So the journey actually started with the credit union, which happens to be tied into a lot of things. So I know you guys were talking about the credit union, Gender Credit Union, where I work, and that kind of tied me into everything pretty much. So that's what got me involved in Westford Rotary. I want to say almost 9 years now.
Wow.
You know, I started there as a branch manager in Westford, and then from that point on, I moved up to like the business world. I had done business development in prior financial institutions that I worked at, so it was just kind of fitting. And then from that point, it just grew into commercial lending. So we kind of restructured and merged the business side of it with the lending side of it. Mm-hmm. And that's where I started to take on more trainings. Credit Union Association, I took a commercial lending training through them and just learned more. And then obviously it's just built the experience over the years.
Yeah. So what's going on in commercial lending?
It's an interesting world. Yeah, it's an interesting world, interesting market.
We don't want any more interest.
Interesting is a way of saying, oh my gosh, holy cow, what's going on? Like,
I guess it depends what you're looking to get into, right? But you know, for us, and you know, my kind of area of expertise in it, local credit union, we're more of a residential, commercial real estate lender. And what I mean by that is like 5+ units, more towards the residential side. If people are doing like rehabs, purchasing under market value, fixing up the units and then renting them out. We do have spaces where we have like restaurants. We do business lending if people are buying out businesses or looking for equipment loans and things like that. That's also kind of the commercial lending world. But that's more C&I lending. Compared to like real estate. When you get into heavy commercial, you know, talking about Red Hat being purchased, that's true commercial property.
Right, that's immediately what I think of: big office buildings
exactly.
and office space.
And
you're
true,
in the business
true.
development side. I want to start a business. Or I want to expand my business. I need some money to do that. That's your side. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. So I'm the VP of Business Services. I run essentially the deposit side of it for the whole credit union, but I also do the commercial lending side of it with my VP of commercial lending. And it works hand in hand. So, you know, I'll get deals for refinancing commercial properties. You know, I have a couple right now in Lawrence, that commercial storefronts in the first floors, wireless services or barbershops, things like that, and then residential upstairs.
Wonderful.
So that's more
use.
my area of expertise, is like the mixed use and you know, residential units in a commercial space.
That's tremendous, because that's what we're seeing, right? We're seeing these areas that, you know, had no prior usage, you know, maybe even be abandoned, and now are being revitalized.
Correct.
Right? Terrific.
Correct. So we're seeing a lot of that, where people are buying, you know, maybe if it's an older church or older, you know, bigger industrial building that you can convert to residential units. And obviously
which is not easy from what I hear.
No.
Yeah.
No, depending on the city that you're working with, is
Plumbing.
to get approved,
Yeah.
to get permitted. It's
a
and
minefield.
Financial institutions, it's risky, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So what, as a credit union, would you say differentiates you from other financial institutions?
well, first and foremost, the people. First and foremost, the people. The credit unions are owned by our members. So we do what is best for the members. And in turn, obviously, that's what's best for us as well. So it's a win-win on both sides. Somebody was shocked the other day when kind of twofold response that I gave to them. One, we were talking about deposit side, and I told them that we're fully insured, and they were kind of mind blown by that because most people are just used to like FDIC, where with credit unions we have NCUA. Very similar, you know, covers up to the $250 essentially, and then for us as a credit union, we have additional insurance on top of that.
That is good to know.
So that was it. She was very shocked by that. But then on the opposite end of it, when it came to the lending, I essentially told her, hey, we're paid salary essentially. Like, we're not commission based. So I'm not just trying to sell you something to sell you something. I'm going to give you what's right or get you to yes, whether it's doing business with me or somebody else. And we'll do that. there's been times where I've handed business to somebody else and I want to do the deal, but for us as a smaller local credit union, really doesn't make sense, or it might not be our niche in the market. So I'll connect them with somebody who can get it done, and it always comes back.
Yeah.
Those
So-
people always twofold
Yeah.
will come back and say, "Hey, you hooked me up here."
Well, speaking of niche markets, so what's do you see a future for ADU lending with Joan Dark? Have you done any of that? Are you looking at that? Where
We
does
have-
that fall in the weirdly, because it can be, rented out, or it's
Yeah.
on your property. You could live there and rent your house out. There's
yep.
just so much with that, and it's such new territory.
Very new.
Yeah.
And for our listeners, ADU, accessory dwelling units, new law passed in Massachusetts.
Come on, Mary. Our listeners know we've talked about the past two episodes.
Oh, she's really
They
on
better
me
know.
today.
I'm a little
isn't she?
feisty today.
Ooh. Good thing I have nice thick
I'm just
skin today.
teasing.
I know you are. That's good. It keeps it alive here. But so accessory dwelling units, which, as Mary said, we've had a couple of wonderful episodes recently. But we would love you to explore ADU
Yep.
funding if that's an area for the union.
And
for the
teach
credit union.
us about that. We want to learn everything there is to know about it, including the lending side. And I know there are a few lenders. We've heard about at least one through someone
I
else.
got another
that's
one,
been-
by the way.
Okay, so two.
you
But it's definitely going to be a thing, especially in Massachusetts with the new law.
Yeah, I'm sure. So we haven't touched upon it yet. I'm sure we will.
Yep.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we'll start digging into it and
Sure.
seeing if it's feasible for us. It's a great opportunity, and why not? If the area's there, land's there, you can split lots or whatnot, build on your lot, in-laws. It only makes sense.
Your
It
adult
really does.
child who moved home.
Mary, well, you say that with such love.
Yeah,
Remember that living room we used to have in our house, Robert? No. Get into
the one that the
Your
kids
own
occupy now.
ADU in your living room. Mary, you are on the forefront of these. You started by converting your living room. I love it.
This is a weird day.
You're ahead of the curve.
Yeah, she is. She always is.
So,
Did you get financing for that, by the way?
yes, there's finance.
Private lending.
There's we pay her to live. Oh, it hurts. So, Robert, what's
Yeah.
your feel of the market? What's your feel of kind of where business is headed? Your kind of business is there pent up demand?
Right. Are people worried about rates? I mean, is that a thing too on the commercial side, the way it is so, touchy with residential?
Yeah, so margins are definitely tighter for sure. And a lot of the deals that we see coming in with the rate is we're just being very conservative. So investors are still investing. We're seeing properties, at least for the credit union, we're definitely seeing properties still being bought. A lot of the deals we're seeing is properties being purchased under market value or off market, and then rehabbing the units and then renting them at market rates. Whereas it might have been like an old owner just didn't want to put the work in or the money or the time. We're seeing a lot of that. Not really purchasing on like new buildings that are already ready to go, just because the spreads are tight. You can't really. We have a feeling that, and again, this is just us at the credit union, but rents are at the top of the market.
Yes.
How much higher
Hopefully,
can they go?
That make any kind of sense
Exactly.
for anybody.
That make it affordable
Yeah.
for people to, and we back into that. So the big difference, I guess, to clarify things, the big difference between residential and commercial, we're all about cash flow. So the cash flow in the property. And
there's a whole calculation.
whole
right?
calculation.
Yeah.
But breaking it down simply is what you're earning for revenue minus all your expenses, and then what's your net. And if that net can support that loan payment, then it looks good.
The beginning is good.
And
hopefully you get more, but
exactly. And we calculated on a debt service coverage ratio. So breaking that down in kind of layman's terms, it's you want to make at least $1.20 for every dollar of expenses.
no one's ever
how we look
explained
at
it like that. I really appreciate that, because I had to dabble in that a little bit, like I said, and that someone had office suite condo thing, with like 6 units. And I was like, I don't even know what to do with this. He ended up not selling it, but he was looking at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and where the rents were compared to that and all of that. But that's good to know, like a little rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like, there's a lot of gray area with commercial lending. So we fall back very heavily on the individuals and their experience. If we have somebody brand new coming to us and they're saying, hey, I'm going to take this, old building and convert it to 10 units. Okay, how are you going to do that? Please tell us. And what have you done prior to do something like this and stabilize it? And if the experience isn't there, we're probably not the fit for you.
Yeah.
Because it's just too risky for us. We're a smaller local credit union. Right. Maybe you might get a bigger FI to take on the risk. But in this market, even big FIs are kind of being selective.
And by FI, financial
institution. Sorry.
Yeah.
We all have. Keller Williams is full of acronyms. So, and like Mary, ADU is right. Mary, you had to,
49 years in Washington D.C. will do it for you as well.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, sure.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's hilarious.
Do we want to talk about service organizations?
Yeah, so that's your work life,
Yes.
which is seems busy, and you light up when you talk about it, which is great. I love to see people that love what they do. So service. So, you're not, I would say in the twilight of your life or anything. You seem like a very on the younger side man, and I think that's so exciting about Rotary and that you've been involved, you said, for what? How many years? It was like a lot.
Just about 9 years.
9 years. Yeah. What made you? Well, you said maybe you're Joan d'Arc. Is that what kind of was the catalyst for that?
Yeah. So that's kind of what started it. I worked at 2 other banks before coming to JDCU, Jeanne d'Arc, and it was never go out into the community and do service. It was go out in the community and get numbers and bring in business. And if you don't, you're getting written up or coached. And when I started with the credit union, they made it very clear, go out in the community, but donate your time. If you have the money, donate money. But if you don't have the money, donate your time. Mm-hmm. Give back, develop that way. And it's part of our mission and our culture. And we actually just had our employee event, and they highlight people for how many volunteer hours that we had. And we have 275 employees, and I think the number was around like 217 actually volunteered.
Oh, wow.
So huge.
Almost 100%. Like really good numbers.
Very close. So
yeah.
That's how I started with Rotary. When I was the branch manager in Westford, they were like, hey, go out and join some local organizations. And it just kind of embellished and developed from there, like to the point where maybe my wife kind of hates me sometimes because she the work-life balance is I'm on 7 different boards or committees or organizations since then. So, work-life balance, but the great thing is she understands the mission too.
Yeah.
And she understands just her soul is a church soul, and giving back and helping others is her.
Yeah.
So she sees by me doing this is just fully fitting.
Yeah. I can see that.
What I love
you have to be like-minded, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Because you have young children.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have young children. Yes. So I've seen you connect with people at the most personal way. Very, very personally. Not glad-handing, not slap you on the back, but with just like a genuine caring. And that has always really touched me, having been a lobbyist for a long time or a ledge rep.
Or in Washington, D.C.
Or in Washington, D.C.
People aren't always who
a
they
lot of
are.
that. You're kind of glad-handing and figuring out what do I have to do.
Right,
So
right.
I don't see that.
For me.
I see you really engaged. And recently, last year, Robert organized for the first time this cornhole tournament that we had.
He's the mastermind behind it. People love it.
He is. And he got our club engaged with so many people and we're in a very anti-DEI world. But let me tell you, it was, as a former DEI director, it was the most diverse group of people. I've been in a long time, and it was fun.
Yeah.
As it should be.
It was so.
was
We
a
had
great time.
4 policemen from Westford, over 6 feet tall. We have this whole subculture of cornhole players.
Yeah.
And they move around
really
the
is a thing.
world. It's a thing.
I never knew it was a thing. but
Yes,
It's a thing.
And he organized it. And he got
blowing up.
people to donate stuff. And again, we're doing it in this year. So March 29th.
All right.
You and Jimmy, okay? All right.
All right.
And,
I'll start brushing up.
We're gonna have another fun this year. But these other organizations, you're on the innovation group in Lowell. Is that what you're doing? What is this? What's the CTI group in Lowell?
No, so in Lowell, I'm on the board of the Bridge Club of
yes.
Greater Lowell.
I know it.
It's troubled water, so that's for like substance abuse. They do classes for all type of.
Very familiar with it. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So great organization. Great organization.
What's
They
it
help.
called? Troubled?
They help many. It's troubled waters. The DBA is.
Are they a
Bridge Club.
501c3?
Yep.
Okay.
Definitely.
Good.
And they're-
Well, 100 women. We're always looking for
Exactly.
organizations
Mary
to.
mentioned that.
Exactly.
as well.
100
Yeah.
women.
Yeah.
Mary, their parking
The
lot
other
is
Mary.
right across from the Lowell Auditorium.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Ever
Oh,
see that
great.
parking
Yeah.
lot? It's a
I
private
have.
parking lot.
Yeah.
That's theirs.
Okay.
Yep. Right there.
All right. Yeah, we'll have to add that to the list. Have
Oh,
you nominated anyone,
definitely.
Mary? We'll have to get someone to
Okay,
nominate.
very good. We'll get somebody to
Yep.
do that. Go ahead. Tell us more. Tell us more. Tell me some of the other organizations. Tell us the organizations you're really
So
engaged in.
Mill City Grows. I'm on their board as well. I've been on their board for, 7, 8 years now, almost.
What do they do? What's
So-
their goal?
I guess to just sum it up, food is justice and farm to table. We got a huge farm right in Lowell. We have multiple farm locations around the city of Lowell where they have beds for community members to grow their own fresh produce.
So
We're
important.
we're highly involved in the farmers market, and they sell food at affordable costs, fresh food for individuals. We have our own greenhouse space on one of the rooftops of UMass Lowell.
Love that.
Yeah,
What a great utilization of wasted space.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And it's just tied in, like you're tied into UMass. Like you think of Lowell, you think of UMass Lowell. If you walk around Lowell, a lot of the people know about Mill City Grows just because the community members are involved. They use the beds and share food. They'll grow food from their own culture and then they'll share it with everybody around. So you're trying like new things. It's just great organization again. And growing up, born and raised in Lowell, I would have never thought of a farm in Lowell.
No.
Or natural food. It was always, okay, just go to the store and get it.
Right.
So having fresh food from multiple different cultures is just amazing.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did some work with Gaining Ground in
Okay.
Concord.
Yep.
They have a farm and they grow 100% organic and give it to shelters almost 100%.
Okay.
They do have a little farmers market thing, but
awesome.
they donate to the Westford Senior Center in the summer so they can
That's awesome.
get fresh produce.
That's perfect.
So it's I have a love for that. So I'm going to look into this because
That's a great
I don't do
idea.
enough things, right, Mary? Like you, like Mary and myself, like we all
So
can't help ourselves.
Sorry to add something to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks. Nice to meet you, Robert. Thanks for piling it on.
Well,
No.
the thing about Mary is her
choice.
heart sings when she's helping somebody.
Yes,
she
that's
really is. Real
awesome.
estate is kind of fun like that, and like even
Yeah, yeah.
commercial
yeah,
lending is like
right.
that.
Solve their problem.
Yeah, when
you
you-
know,
Exactly.
make their dreams come true. Who
Yeah.
doesn't want to do that? I like the warm and fuzzies. Why not?
Yeah, so you do give back a lot,
I try.
and I love the humanness of I don't do it for business. I do it because there is tremendous need there.
Well, I also like your vibe that you're not. So I'm from a banking family from way back. So no more suits, and you know what I mean. Like it's so stuffy in banker's hours, and
Yeah.
a banker could say yes or no. Like it's just a whole different world. And to meet you and see you talk about what you do and how you can tell how much you like it. That's really nice, and you're approachable. You're not like a scary banker that because someone doesn't know anything about financial anything. It's to be approachable and be in the lending world is key. I think to having a good business and a happy
100%.
business, I think.
100%.
You do it well.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
So I'd love your help to recruit Mary McCauley for Rotary Westford.
I'm gearing up for that.
And Mary, I have to tell you that there are more bankers in our club than there are realtors.
What? Okay. Well, then
Yes,
I've got to
okay.
tip the scales. That's it.
It's getting close now,
It's
though.
darn.
Yeah.
It's
getting close.
I know.
So many. And but it's been really wonderful having you here today.
No, thank
really
you.
terrific.
I appreciate
and
it.
maybe you'll come back and we'll talk some more about kind of the lending world because we really
Yeah.
would like some more education about it.
And you have
Yeah,
to keep
for
us
sure.
posted on if you're going to, dip into ADUs or any of that.
Yes.
And you can
Will
come
do.
into our office and educate the rest of our people. And,
Will do.
We crave that education
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm sure it'll be a topic of discussion very soon
All
in the
right.
credit union.
You'll let us know. So where can people find you, Robert? If you have a commercial, if you're out there and you're thinking about a 5+ unit residential or anything commercial, or you just have questions and you don't know if it's commercial or it could work,
Yep.
how do they find you?
So either they can email me. My email's robert.boley@jdcu.com, or they can give me a phone call. My office number goes right to my cell. Again, probably one of the things my wife hates, but
I love
What's your
wife.
wife's name? We
I
love her. We
Franny.
have to
I
give
love
her
I love
special
I love
props. She's an amazing woman.
she really is. To put up with me and keep me in line, oh my goodness. That's a full-time job,
our
in
job.
itself, yeah. That's her charity work.
That's great.
No, so my office number is 978-703-7982. And all my information as well can be found right on the jdcu.org website.
And you're at the
Yeah.
branch here in Westford.
No.
So
No,
I
you've-
cover all 8
okay.
branches. Yep. So my office is in Lowell, but
Okay.
I go wherever
Right. And
wherever
you
the
always-
business takes me.
Yep.
So if someone wants to meet in their office in Dunks and one of my branches, yep,
Great.
wherever it is. And
Super.
I'm always open. People run deals by me all the time or, hey, I want to buy this property.
Right.
Can you run the numbers, see if it makes sense? Here's the price I'm looking at. And
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Well,
I'll-
yeah, because
I'll
you
run it.
think, you have a dream of something and you just don't know how to even get started.
Yep.
Right.
So I like that.
100%.
Step one,
How
call
tall is the
Robert.
mountain? How tall is the mountain I have to climb to do that? That's
Yep.
right.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you, ladies.
It's
Appreciate
a
it.
pleasure. And now you're an honorary Mary.
Yeah.
So just tell
So
Franny
welcome
you'll
to
be
the
okay.
club.
I'm married to real estate now.
Married to real estate. Thank you so
Thanks,
much, Robert.
Thank you.